I'm going to be changing a pump here today and just giving you guys step by step on changing a pump. So we must get going. Pretty much the only two reasons you'll be changing a pump is if the pump is tripping the breaker, or if the bearings are shot and you need to take it back to the shop, change bearings out, or just replace it because the bearings are shot. Change the pump, first thing you want to do is close the ball valves so you can keep the spot full of water. And close the ball valves will be one on the pressure and one on the suction side of the pump. And your ball valves are just right here. Ball valves run in a manner that when they cross the line they're off, when they go in line they're open. It's international standards for how ball valves work. So we have both ball valves closed, so there'll just be a little bit of residual water left inside of here. We get a couple tools out here. Right off the bat we have our ground wire. Disconnect the ground wire. Gonna get some side cutters and cut the zip tie. Just hold the pump power cord in. Then we're going to go down, and right down here is your mounting nut that's holding the whole pump mount system together. So we'll pull some cords out of the way. Pull the mounting plate out. We're going to undo the unions. Try to make note of where your O-rings go, because they might float away with the little rush of water that you have. And there you have your pump out. Now what we're going to do, because when you change your pump out, there's nothing wrong with the wet end. In this case. So we're going to take the wet end off. Now there's only one set lock screw on this pump housing, so we can spin it off to the side here. I'm going to take a 9/16 wrench. I'm going to hold the impeller still. And we're going to loosen that impeller off the shaft. Eventually, you can pull the wet end right off. Then again, we're going to go take off the pump mounts because they're reusable and there's nothing wrong with them. Take these off, place them onto the next pump. Now, we've got a brand new pump. I've got the pump mounts almost installed fully on it. So we're going to get this new pump back together, put the wet end back on it, and put it back into the spot. Now this is actually a bit easier for putting the wet end on, is to take these screws completely out. Set the impeller on the shaft. Set a screwdriver or a wrench down into the fans in the bottom. Then you can just spin it. That facing straight up, like that. So the impeller's tight. You want to make sure the impeller is snugged right up to the shaft. The impeller is not snug up to the shaft when you turn the pump on right off the get-go in the first place. If it spins freely, get some RPMs up before it actually gets tight onto the impeller itself, it'll blow all the threads out of the impeller. So make sure it is actually snug and tightened up right up onto the shaft. Okay, so we have the impeller back onto the pump. Got the pump mounts on. Let's set the pump back into place. Get the pump mount. Put our unions back on. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to snug up the suction side, leave this pressure side just a little bit loose, bleed some air out, bleeds the air out of the wet end, so we're just ensuring we're not going to have an airlock fired up again. Open up the pressure side.